Hello guys, welcome back to American Futurist. And today I want to talk a little bit of what I think personally why gun control is a bad idea and why it is not a good solution to our little shooting problem. I was kind of inspired to make this thanks to James Allsup's video earlier today. I think it was called, what was it called? I think something along the lines of woman exploits her parents' deaths to promote gun control, something like that. It's in there if on his channel, assuming it's not deleted yet, but I found a good thing he provided the sources for the video, and I will be showing those links, the list of links that he made, just in case that video were to get deleted, because I think that video was very valuable. Anyway, I wanted to start off showing that you need to kind of familiarize with the subject a little bit before diving into this. So here's a list of where you can here's a list of all the mass shootings that have been documented from 1982 all the way till now. So here's the link, here's the little list. You can, yep. I think I might as well show off the reasons for mass shootings. And I've listed, some of these include James's reasons from that video, but I also added my own stuff in there as well. And so far there are 17 reasons. You can look at it here. You can pause the video, write it in your notes if you like. So, political polarization of masses, mental illness, and that one's usually used as a reason for why we should restrict guns. And the whole restricting guns thing, Mayman may not be a good idea, as seen with these 3 articles. I will show you the links to these in that list a little later. Basically, these 3 go on how background checks, they don't really do much. There's the whole America's unique gun violence problem. He kind of go where how basically he kind of debunks that, showing you a little bit of good old statistics here. And of course, murder and homicide rates before and after gun bans. I think you should definitely look into these 3. So I think that it could be very insightful. So with that out of the way, it's not, basically it's not the gun, it's the individual. And I have heard about that comment many times. And I think there's a good amount of truth to it. And yes, people usually cite mental illness as the main reason, but it's a lot more than that, as I've shown on this list earlier. And I'll get to that pretty shortly, but I wanted to show a few examples like this here. In Europe, I know this is in Europe, but this can also apply to the United States. It's due to culture and not guns. Basically, this guy is going on how it's basically due to our individualistic culture, whereas certain countries like Norway, Finland, Switzerland, and Israel, they have pretty lax gun laws, but yeah, they don't have the same amount of shootings as we do, is because of close, tight-knit societies. Again, I have this article in my list of links, and I'll show that pretty shortly. There's also the issue of narcissism, where, you heard of the whole me generation, right? This has been a problem for a while. These articles kind of go into that a little bit, about how basically we promote narcissism to millennials, basically Generation Y, Generation Z, and then generations after them. I believe, what was the generation after Z? I think it was called Generation Alpha. I could be mistaken on that, but yeah, Gen Y, Gen Z, the other younger generations, eventually, especially when they're growing up, yeah, this is being promoted to them. Like in 2017, it says right here, the top 5 values were fame, achievement, popularity, image, and financial success. Contrary to the values of yesterday, or community feeling, spiritualism, tradition, and popularity. Popularity is pretty consistent, but there were more positive values to be had, like tradition, community feeling, spiritualism. But these are the values now, is these ones here. And there's a book. I am thinking of buying this, but after reading this article and also listening to an interview by Robert Stark on this guy, I think it's let me see if I can find that. Let me see if I can find that in here. Yep, right here, Matt Forney. Yeah, it was this one. So, yeah, I should have put that link in there earlier, but you can see it here. StarkTruthRadio.com/ question mark P equals 311. You can see it right here. Good interview. Kind of goes into the book, and the idea is expressed in the book quite a bit, and I think people should listen to this, read this article, and most importantly, buy this book. Because this actually gets into the, it gets deep into why these kind of shootings happen in the first place. And finally, also a few tweets from Rachel Haywire. Mainly this one. Like, mass shootings are created when people snap. People snap when they do not have an outlet in which they can channel their hatred and dissent. And also, of course, this. Meanwhile, nobody discusses the roots of extremism, alienation. Nobody wants to accept responsibility for the culture that they have created. And I should probably get back into this. See if I can maximize this. Yeah, that's good enough. So, since I just gave you a few examples there, links wise, and I will show them later. I want to read these reasons for mass shootings in here, because I think this needs to be addressed. In order to fix the mass shooting problem, you need to look at these reasons. It's not the gun. It is the shooter, but why does the shooter do what they do? That's the real question. Why do they go about and shoot people? Why? That's what you should be asking yourself, and these are a list of reasons why that I can gather. 1. Political polarization of masses. 2. Mental illness. 3. Extensive bullying, for example, school. Number 4. Misanthropy. For those who don't know what this word is, means general hatred, dislike, distrust, or contempt for humanity and or human nature. Number 5. Hyper-individualistic culture, example, the United States. Number 6. Social alienation / competitiveness fomented by neoliberalism / capitalism, as claimed by Franco Berardi. Number 7. Nihilism. Not only nihilism, but also, I have noticed this too. So I actually have taken an interest in futurism, especially how people view the future, like for the past century or so. And what I've noticed in the early 20th century, like especially the first 50, 60 years of the 20th century, we had a very optimistic view of the future. And sometime in the 60s, at the very earliest, give or take, from the 60s onward, we started to develop more of a pessimistic future. And it became more obvious by the time, the 70s and especially the 80s came around. Cyberpunk, for example. Cyberpunk is an example of a pessimistic future. we have a more pessimistic view of the future than we have a more optimistic view of the future. That, and also just a general sense of nihilism, of just, feeling like our lives are meaningless kind of thing, that does have a huge factor in the psyche of the shooter, as well as this. I believe, anyway. Of course, social liberals don't talk about these for some reason, but I have to put this in there as well. Rapid cultural demographic changes. Outsourcing of jobs, which is U.S. companies hire foreign workers instead of Americans. And there's, of course, number 10, automation. Andrew Yang is correct on this. But unfortunately, he denies reason 8 for some reason, the immigration part. That does have an effect also. Number 11, lack of opportunity. Number 12, crushing debt. Number 13, the rise of unhealthy relationships between men and women. Like, for example, the dismantling of the family unit by promoting feminism and whatnot, and there is what I believe anyway, the unhealthy reaction to feminism is MGTOW. MGTOW, I believe, is, and this might be unpopular with certain people on the political spectrum, but I believe MGTOW is an unhealthy reaction to feminism. And I actually condemn both feminism and MGTOW. I think they're both it's like two sides of the same dirty coin, basically. It basically just promotes this, and this is not good. It just divides society even further. 14, availability and over prescription of drugs, big pharma. That plays a factor. 15, hostile / dysfunctional political system. 16, lack of unity, community, cultural cohesion as a people in the nation, which kind of goes into the number 5, hyper-individualistic culture, and number 6, number 7, number 8, number 1. I mean, yeah, this one's number 16 is a huge one. It kind of covers a lot of these. 17, media promoting suicide, self-destructive behavior, ethnic tensions, for example, white versus black, anti-white rhetoric, etc. And those are the 17 reasons. So here's the reasons again if you want to record these, and here's the sources. Some of the sources I've showed you before, they're in this list, and some of the other sources that I have not shown are in here as well. At least like 1 or 2 of them, I think, but I've showed a good degree of some. But if you want to look into them further, here's all the links. You can pause, write them out, type them out, whatever. I'll see if I can post these in the description as well to make it easier for people. If not, here's the links. Oh, that's a typo. I just noticed that. Whoops. Oh. Yeah. I just noticed I just got a typo in there. Whatever, that's not even important. So again, here's the links. And finally, the inspiration for this video. Here's the video link. You can type this in if you like, or just type in James Allsup, go to his channel, and find this video. You know, the title of this video. And these are the list of sources that he uses. Sorry for the, I'm sorry, this was very disorganized, unprofessional, but I just wanted to share this. And, yeah, I just think this is very important. The reason I've showed all this is to basically encourage discussion about this sort of stuff. Feel free to discuss it in the comments below, and I would actually encourage you to discuss this stuff everywhere else, like in other videos that, you know, that relate to the subject, forums, blogs of any kind, really. I mean, just, or even make videos yourself. Basically, I want to encourage discussion of all of this, and together we can find solutions for this. Because apparently our establishment is doing a horrible job at this, so we might as well take it on our own hands. Anyway, hopefully you liked this video. If you did, I would suggest, due to the rise of censorship, I consider a good way to counteract this is to download videos that you like and mass distribute them across the internet, whatever it's YouTube, your own websites, forums, anywhere, basically. Distribute them everywhere in mass. Basically makes it more difficult for them to censor. That's what I recommend for any video that you like, to be honest. If you like this video, among others, videos made by other people, download them and distribute them throughout the internet. Makes it harder to censor. That's all I gotta say on the matter. And next video, I'm thinking of doing a few political tests. When is that gonna happen? I don't know. I don't have a set schedule. I will probably do it in the weekend in the future. I will say that for sure. I will most likely make those videos in the weekend for sure, because those are the only days I have time off, so from work and all that. So anyway, I guess I'll see you guys in the next video.